Thank you for joining us on episode 1. Today we talk about the beginning, the start, the origin story.
Welcome to Crazy Talk. Episode 1. Come on, man.
Episode 1. Welcome to Crazy Talk. Alright. So this is Crazy Talk, and I am the co-founder of Crazy Hands, Mulango, Aaron, and with me is the other co-founder.
Hi guys, I'm Aaron Randall.
Boom. Yeah, we're gonna make you introduce yourself, fool.
Well, welcome.
The genius behind the genius.
Yes.
So actually, the idea of this video blog, right, is to try and be as transparent as we could be, right? So
absolutely.
So we wanted to, we actually, from where we started to like where we're at now, it's been like this crazy experience. So I think the idea is let's be as transparent as possible to those people out there that also want to build like video games and or thinking about building anything creative, right? And just let them know like we're two artists that had this idea, and although we went through a crazy roller coaster, like we're somehow getting it done, and we feel like we got the right goals, we feel like we got the right inspiration, and this is us doing us.
That's right, man.
So
in it to win it.
Boom.
Yeah.
So let's how about we just start like on the very first question. So how did we get here?
Well, this could be a couple episodes long.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep it short. Well, okay, I'll start and then maybe just. All right.
Yeah, let's just let's set it up so we're like introducing the audience to like who we are and what are like how we got to, I guess, where we're at. Like what's driving us. Let's do that.
Okay. Well, I have always been a big advocate for games. I wasn't really getting out the house. I was always playing on the Super Nintendo. And I was actually born in Japan. My dad, he's in the Navy. My mom's Japanese. So I had the Super Famicom, or what they called the first Nintendo in Japan. And I was playing Pitfall, the first Super Mario. And so that's kind of like my first hands-on in the game. And I just fell in love with it. Been in the arts. I've been drawing and since I was actually surprisingly 3, and been drawing ever since. So I'm a graphic designer as a professional. But I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And for graphic design, and that's where I met Mulango.
Boom.
This guy right there. So how was our institute?
Yeah, so it's a great place.
It was a good experience.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it was a good experience.
It has its moments.
Yeah, it was good.
So I'll say my quick bio, and then we'll move on. So I would say, I am first generation American. But my family is full-blown African from the motherland.
From the motherland.
Yeah, I'm very overly sarcastic. If you won't, you'll probably get that from this. So I came from parents that all their focus was school. It was like, you got to do this, you got to, the doctor mentality. You got to be a doctor. You got to be like a dentist. My mom's a pharmacist and my dad works at a bank. And I was just like,
wow,
I can't do that. So, I'm grateful for what they did, because that, like, it's a lot of, a lot of sacrifice and a lot of just what they did was awesome. But
Right.
I was fortunate enough to be able to go to the Art Institute, and by fortunate, I was too lazy to ship myself out west to a California school. So, but I was fortunate enough that the program I was in allowed me to, I graduated from the Art Institute in media arts and animation. So I was able to to experience a lot of different niches of the industry. And I mean, I've always been a big fan. I think The Matrix was the movie where I was just like, man, if I could do that for a living, that would be freaking awesome.
Right.
So that movie was a huge inspiration for me. And then just waking up on Saturdays and watching Darkwing Duck and all this other stuff. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The original Ghostbusters. And you're like, this stuff is freaking amazing. So for me, where we got to the game experience, I always wanted to be in a medium where I was expressing myself creatively, where I felt like I was part of a team and building something. And what I realized was if you work in the movie industry, your job isn't totally secure, but there's a long length of working on a specific project.
Right.
And if you worked in the commercial industry, everything's fast. And yeah, you get a lot of creative stuff out there, but you're quickly after a couple weeks, it's gone. And I work in a safety training industry where it's very repetitive. It's not, the creativity is it's there, but it's only limited as far as you can push it, because it's still safety. So what I realized was games would be the perfect medium, because it's kind of that happy middle ground, especially for indie game development and apps, which is what we started with. And it allowed us to be creative in building a story, and it also allowed us to be creative with the artwork and developing a game, which hopefully, as we release it, then we can now move on to the next one and keep that creativity going and building that whole community.
And I think when we started working together, Mulango, was we were roommates, and we started working on some projects for an independent film company, Fear Not Films, and it was actually owned by Kwesi. And he was actually, I believe, a computer engineer at DreamWorks Animation. Yeah,
Kwesi Davis.
Shout out to him. And so it was a big help. Awesome experience. Being able to, I was actually doing the texture map for the characters in the short film Take Too Long.
Yeah.
Mulango, you were doing some modeling, 3D modeling.
Well, yeah, it was actually funny. I would be modeling the characters and assets, and then just literally turning over to you and being like, "Here you go, man. Where do you want this?
Here's some textures." Yeah.
let me unwrap this for you, and here you go.
Yep, exactly. And the Take Too Long won a few, actually pretty good amount of awards for independent 3D animated films. So that was a great experience. So that kind of I guess that's how we started, kind of really working together, designing and things like that. And then we kind of parted ways. I moved to New York.
Big Apple.
Been there for a year. Been pretty crazy. And then, hauled back then moved to New Jersey, and then now in Pennsylvania. And now you're in Pittsburgh. You were in Jersey, and then you went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
came back to Pittsburgh.
Went out to Jersey.
Yep.
Jumped into a little bit of the indie gaming scene out there.
Yep.
And I soaked it all up. I was kind of depressed a little bit when we left.
Playcrafting, right? Playcrafting.
Playcrafting. Also at the game assembly out there. They were hosting a lot of stuff with their game makers group. So, but a big shout out to New York. I think that community is pretty awesome.
Pretty robust community. Really awesome. I mean, when you go to step into New York, it's just like you're just soaking up all this energy, and you just want to create. It's an amazing. If you haven't gone to New York yet, I suggest put down in your bucket list and just go.
Do it.
But it's really, really, really cool experience. So,
So,
Yeah.
so one question, like that I want to throw out to the audience, but Aaron, I want you and I to answer it real quick. Like this dream that we have, and like where we started with, because we actually didn't start out as a gaming company. It kind of molded to that, where we kind of refined it as this is where we think we could build our little corner of the industry, and then we could branch out from there. And we actually have some pretty big plans, but I think the question I want to pose to you is like, this isn't something that was like, I don't think this is something that's impossible. And like over the course of this video blogs, we'll jump into like a lot of stuff that we've learned along the way, and a lot of stuff that we've been like,
oh yeah,
gosh, but
aha moments.
Yeah. But I think the main inspiration is like we're coming close on November, our first release. Hopefully, God willing, our first release will be done. And I think it's like we're getting to the end of that tunnel where we could see like the light, and it's becoming more clear.
Yeah, it's becoming real.
Yeah. And I feel like the inspiration that I want to convey to young people out there, or other artists that are like in jobs where they're like, man, I wish I was doing something else, or even just like, I wish I was doing something inspiring on the side. Like, I think I just want to convey, like, based on our experience, I feel like the goal is obtainable. Like,
yeah, you just got to learn how to. I guess that's what we can talk about down the line is how you do this work-life balance thing.
Yeah.
You have a day job, and then you're working on your dream, and so I think it's really ultimately prioritizing your time. Like what is your tolerance, and respect that tolerance. Like, should I keep going? Should I stop? If you feel a little burned out, then stop. And take a break.
Yeah.
I went through a lot of burnouts, and and I'm married with 2 kids.
Yep.
And so
I got one daughter.
You got one daughter,
yeah.
so of
she
course
kind of popped out. She just knocked on the door one day, and she was like, "I'm here."
Yep. Exactly. And life is moving really fast. So you got to kind of learn how to balance that so that you can have a peace of mind and peace in your house, in your life. So
yeah.
But we're still learning. We're not all the way there yet. We're
Nope.
still learning how to do it. But
work in progress.
Work in progress, man.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, with that, Aaron, I'm going to say that this is a good wrap for our first video blog for Crazy Hands.
Absolutely.
Which I think we're calling Crazy Talk. I think that's the name that we're going to go with.
So, yeah, we're officializing it now.
Yeah.
Crazy Talk. Okay.
So, so I think the question I want to pose to the audience, and they could either write in or tweet us right at our Twitter handle.
Yes, it's the Crazy Hands is twitter.com/the Crazy Hands. And if you have any specific questions, shoot us an email at info@crazyhandstudio.com.
Yep, and I'll put all the information at the bottom. Either it'll be on the blog page or at the bottom of this YouTube video, so people can link to that.
Right.
And I think the question I want to pose to the audience, and we'll see if we get any responses, but kind of the question out there, is there an obtainable goal that you fear that you don't think you can reach? And what is that goal? Right.
Good question.
Yeah. So we'll see what that's out there.
Cool. Can't wait to see Can't wait to read the comments.
Yep. All right, guys. That's it for our crazy talk for this week. And until next week, that's it. Keep gaming, I guess.
Cool.
Keep
All
gaming.
right, guys. Keep gaming.
We'll come up with a better tag.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Very transparent here.
Yes, we're very real.
All right. Out.
All right, guys.